Welcome on back. So this morning we want to take a closer look at a plan that Congress is currently considering. It would send $600 tariff rebate checks to Americans. Now this would go to adults and kids who meet certain income requirements. This is similar to those stimulus checks a lot of us got at the start of the pandemic. Now Republican Senator Josh Hawley just introduced it a week ago, so there's still a long way to go before anything happens, but it does bring up a lot of interesting talking points. So we wanted to talk with financial advisor Bruce Allen about this proposal. Bruce, thanks so much for being with us here this morning. Now, before we talk about the financial impact of these, I know we were talking on the phone last week and we are just talking about all the things that this kind of brings up. Can you walk us through what we saw when those stimulus checks during the pandemic, kind of what effect that had on the economy and kind of people's personal finances?
Sure. So in the first round, we saw in March of 2020, right when the economy was shutting down, unemployment jumped in March and April of 2020 to 14%, Dan. So we saw millions of Americans out of work. Congress passed a stimulus plan to pay $1,200 to each income tax filer, and that money was essential in terms of helping people get through the pandemic to some degree. In December 2020, we had round two of the stimulus plans, which was $600, which is what the senators currently, or the, representatives currently proposing, and that was $600 in December of 2020. So during 2020, we saw over $400 billion worth of stimulus payments paid. March of 2021, there was a third round of stimulus, if you can keep up with all this.
A lot of numbers.
$1,400 per person.
Yeah.
We saw inflation, which stayed below 2% from March of 2020 through March of 21, jump in March of 21 to 2.6% and head up after that. Many people said that the stimulus was to blame for all of the inflation. While it's a piece of that inflation picture, it's not all of it, but it did help promote inflation. And that's the concern about this particular, will that promote inflation in this particular circumstance?
And we know the Fed has been keeping a close eye on inflation and how the tariffs will affect it. Now, getting back to those tariffs, I mean, the idea of $600 in your bank account it's an awesome thing that so many Americans could need with their personal finances. But do you think that these stimulus checks that they're considering could help offset the higher prices that could come from tariffs?
Well, assuming that we know what the tariffs are going to be, which we don't, but the guesses are from National Taxpayer Union, the tariffs are going to cost the average American family, based on the data we have in the last week, roughly $2,048. And according to the Yale Budget Lab, they're going to cost around $2,400. That's per family. The question really is, how are the tariffs going to impact the economy? These are guesses. We don't know yet.
Yeah. And the very last question is, how would we get any clarity on the economic impact of these potential checks should they pass through Congress?
The tariffs that are being passed right now is the biggest tariff experiment that's happened since 1930. Will they be successful at helping improve the American economy, and how will they impact you and me and every other American? Nobody knows yet. So trying to muddy the waters with stimulus payments on top of that, that's a separate item. That's some kind of financial engineering. Do we really need financial engineering to see whether the tariffs are going to work or not? And I think the key thing really is a lot of people, including people on Wall Street, people investors, and people who are economists, want to know, will the economy benefit from tariffs or be hurt by tariffs? And throwing stimulus checks on top of that seems like that might be a little bit of a confusing message.
There's so much to parse through between the political ramifications, the personal finance ramifications, and of course the big economic ramifications. So thank you so much for your insight this morning, Bruce.
Nice to be here.